If you look at this map, it is clear that one area the Russians have had some success is in the south, north of Crimea, pushing up from the south, taking over the city of Kherson right now. And there is concern now for Odessa, the third largest city in Ukraine. That's where I want to go to CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh, who is live there, seeing what really looks like this act of defiance. Nick, explain what's going on.
Yeah, John, what you've got behind me here is basically a yacht club. This is Odessa. This is a peak holiday destination for Russians, frankly, as well as Ukraine in the past. Now it's a barricade factory. Let me show you what we got happening here. Ordinary locals in a human chain passing down these sandbags. They're just asking, who we are, what are we doing? And you can see down here where this all comes from. It's just the banks of the shoreline here. You can see that big excavator pulling out the sand, putting it in piles, and then ordinary young people here, predominantly 20s, 30s, shovels filling up the sandbags. A huge pile. Someone's just trying to come through here from the left here with empty bags. A huge pile filled up into the vans and then taken into the city centre. And we've seen how they form part of the city's defences here. This is the coastline, which every day people are concerned they might see a Russian amphibious landing on. It's kind of crazy to imagine that in summer people were here in their bikinis. And actually, we saw somebody yesterday going for a dip. But this is a holiday destination onto which they're concerned they might see Russian amphibious landing ships at any time. Now, we know that is an increased threat because of information about an Estonian cargo ship off the coast of here that was sunk. Ukrainian officials say from Russian shelling that they were trying to use it basically as some kind of civilian shield to allow themselves to approach the coast here. But you get this sort of feeling of a city united when you see scenes like this. The volume of sandbags, almost more than they can get trucks to take away at this point. And it's filling up the city centre. It's blockading parts of the centre. It's the Opera House. I have to tell you, John, I mean, it's dark, frankly, having people of the age we're seeing here in their 20s and 30s passing around a picture of fortifications of the Opera House in Odessa in 1941 and saying to themselves that they're having to do exactly the same thing now. One man told me he wept when he saw that. Others have said that their grandmothers simply cannot imagine that similar scenes are occurring in 2022 than they saw in 1941 when the Soviets fought off the Nazis. And that's the kind of, it's not irony, it's the dark contrast here between people who are seeing this Soviet aggrandization from Vladimir Putin for their restored sort of broader territory, which seems to be behind this invasion of Ukraine, contrast with the feeling they have that they're having an invasion by the Nazis all over again. You were mentioning Kherson earlier on, John. I should just tell you what we're hearing from residents there now, which is equally troubling. They're talking about a convoy that's moved into the town of Kherson. Civilians, they're now seeing humanitarian, it seems, trucks parked up in the central square, big white trucks that they fear may be about to hand out humanitarian aid. And local officials there have warned of essentially a movie being made. And we've seen this movie before, John, in other places where Russia's moved in and essentially occupy. We saw it in Crimea, we saw it in the Donbass in 2014, 2015. They send in people to fake support for the changing government, and we may be seeing these aid trucks in the central square now. That's what local officials are warning of, is that we'll see this synthesized notion of popular support for the Russian occupation of Kherson. Contrast that to what we're actually hearing from residents, and that's of locals being walked away, local men being walked away at gunpoint and disappearing, looting, and real fears about what Russia's control actually means for their life. John?
And Nick, again, we're watching a human chain here moving sand from the beach, from this resort area in Odessa to the city center to block what they are expecting to be a Russian invasion of this historic city, the third most populous in Ukraine. And these people, these largely men, these men ages, as you said, teenagers to their 30s, do they expect to be on the front lines of this fight in the next several days?
Well, let's ask them. Ребята, пожалуйста, вы ожидаете, что если будет какое-то нападение, напряжение, вы войдете или нет? Опять ждать, если будут надвождения, что вы воюете напротив нас?
Конечно, все возьмем оружие. We will defend our city and our country, for sure.
No, that's your answer. John?
They will defend their city and their country for sure. Remarkable vision there. Nick Peyton Walsh in Odessa, thank you very much.